60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 41. The Island Resort and Casino's Stay and Float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Ben Brust here, and let's cut the crap. I've been sold the lie with sportswear, too. You pay a fortune for big-name gear, a fancy logo, and a slogan, and it still stinks. Then I found Iron Jock, and now it's all I wear. It's built on science. Their silver ion technology is woven right into the fabric. It kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria, and it never washes out, ever. Get yours today at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Shoot. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Willis, another dart, another catch. It's Watson for the touchdown. Willis, 2 strikes, and right back at you. Green Bay has life at home. To the touchdown, and he'll keep it here. Running himself with space to move. Touchdown. Malik gets shifty, and the Packers are within a score. The first down and 10 from the 11. Willis pulls. Willis runs. Willis scores. Touchdown, Green Bay!
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
I sort of appreciate the cooling off period. You know, ordinarily that game against the Ravens takes place on a Sunday, and we're still pretty, feisty, fired up, frustrated. Still frustrated. But I've had what they call a cooling off period. You know, where you're not allowed in the locker room for the first, 15 minutes after a game. Let the players cool off a little bit so they don't say things they're going to regret.
They still do that from time to time.
Certainly do. Kind of appreciate the cooling off period. Packers fall to the Ravens over the weekend. That was Saturday, of course, 41-24, the final. And, gosh, I've been trying to work my way through this, guys. And I think where I sit this morning, Monday morning, headed into a Week 18 matchup against the Vikings, matters none. Packers have already locked up the 7 seed, with just figuring out who they're going to play, whether it's the Bears or the Eagles in the first round of the postseason. I think I have changed my expectations for this team because of the injuries. I think they are so beat up. They are so banged up. They are relying on depth guys, practice squad guys. I sit here and go, how in the world can I have the same expectations for this team right now as I did during the high points, the high moments of the season, Gabe? Is that a fair, logical, rational way of interpreting the data, of looking at this Packers team right now? A playoff team, right? They're in the playoff field. And I know I've seen all the conversations. Well, they hadn't expanded the playoffs. Packers. Yes, I get it. But they did, and they're in. And all you do is got to get in, right? We talk about that with other sports. They're in. But I have tempered my expectations for what this version of the Green Bay Packers team can do in a playoff run.
Yeah, I think the best thing you're hoping for at this point is ruining the Bears season, right? Like that playoff game, if it ends up being Chicago, which is a 60% chance, if the Bears are able to beat the Lions on Sunday, then the Bears will be the 2 seed. Now, if the Bears lose and the Eagles win over the Commanders, then the Packers would be heading back to Philadelphia for a rematch of last year's playoff game in a 7-2. But yeah, I think what you're hoping for is, beat that. Beat that, if you can beat that team, whether it's Philadelphia, maybe it's Chicago, and more likely Chicago, that's about the ceiling that you can accomplish. Because you look at Seattle, you look at San Francisco, you look at, the Rams, it's going to be tough sledding against them, as beat up as this team is, without all the weapons that they have.
I'm sick of people trying to sell me how good this roster is. Oh, well, you know what? They were Super Bowl contenders before they even got Micah Parsons. Really? 307 yards rushing? Strenuously object? That's how it works? No, I object. No, I strenuously object. Oh, really? Oh, that's how it works? Not one Pro Bowl player? Not one.
Well, they got
Say
Micah.
what you ever... Yeah, one. That guy, who's not going to be with us for a while. Really? That's a Super Bowl roster. One guy. And say whatever you want about the Pro Bowl, but if you look at that list, you'll probably recognize every name.
Or a good chunk of them, at least. Again, I'm with you, Chew. The Pro Bowl's not the end-all, be-all, but you need to have... If you are a Super Bowl caliber team, you have more players getting recognized than just one in postseason accolades.
I mean, we could spend the whole show ripping on Rashan Gary, but that one clip you showed me with a 190-pound receiver, that looks like a guy. That gives you confidence that they can all of a sudden make a run in the playoffs. This season's done. Toast, cook it, fry it, do whatever you want. Wins the draft.
Well, they don't even have a first-round pick, Chew.
That's fair. No, but I'm just transitioning
I mean, interestingly,
in my head.
they are talking in Minnesota, Chew, about whether or not it's worth it to lose this game against the Packers in order to improve their draft situation.
Because they've won 4 in a row.
Yeah. Oops.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, man. They now I'm forgetting. But they had 3 net passing yards in their win over the Detroit Lions this weekend. 3 net passing yards.
Yeah, but didn't the Raiders already lock up one?
It's not locked up. No, it is not locked up. But, I mean, the Vikings, I think I would be looking at maybe getting a top 10 pick. I mean, if the Vikings beat the Packers, Chew, they end up with the same number of wins. Vikings would be 9-8. Packers would be 9-7-1.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we turn our attention to Week 18 because the Packers, as we mentioned, are playing the Vikings. And I think there is a general sentiment out there that the Packers should sit a lot of guys because this game means nothing, because you have a chance of getting guys hurt, that you should sit as many guys as possible, try to get as right as possible, try to get as healthy as possible. You got banged up quarterbacks and Jordan Love with the concussion. Now, generally speaking, you would think he would be back from the concussion and be good to go against the Vikings. You got Malik Willis dealing with whatever he's dealing with if Jordan cannot go, and that's just at the quarterback position. Relatively speaking, they're healthy at wide receiver. I still don't know what Josh Jacobs' status is going to be for the long haul here. It seems like he's dealing with something nagging. And then, of course, you have all of the injuries, losing 2 more players this past week against the Ravens for the season. Their depth is challenged. I think that's a nice way of putting it. So I am hearing people say, we should be sitting guys. We should be resting guys. Who? Who do you rest? Who do you sit? Like, the depth of this team right now, as I mentioned, is so challenged. You are going to be forced to play guys, Gabe, that maybe you wouldn't want to play in a meaningless game.
Yeah, after Josh Jacobs, I don't know who else lands on that list of, all right, they're kind of dealing with something negative. Maybe Evan Williams. I know he missed time with the knee. I mean, Zach Tom's been out with back and knee issues, so you continue to sit him to be healthy. But, I mean, other than that, chances are at some point this week you're only going to have 50 active members on your roster. They were already down a roster spot when they put Christian Welch on IR last week. Kamal Hadden and Jordan Riley likely going to be landing on IR. You can't have. You only have so many people on the roster, so you have to play so many people. And the Jordan Love thing is also interesting because Jordan, I mean, do you really want his last meaningful snaps to be the ones that he played in Denver a handful of weeks ago? I don't. Well, I want to see him out there. And if you put Jordan Love out there, then you're going to want that offensive line out there to protect Jordan Love against what's been a very good defense throughout the course of the year, but specifically the last handful of weeks for the Vikings.
Is Willis even going to be able to play?
I mean, I'm guessing he'd be able to gut it out. They said he would have been able to go back into the game had the situation dictated it, but
yeah.
Once it's 41-24, there's no reason to throw him back out there.
No, and he played clearly the best of anyone on the field.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He played great, so they'll play guys half the game would be my guess. Love will play half, because I'm with you, Gabe. You don't want his last start to be the Denver game where he looked rusty.
But I don't even think, Chew, you want to go, hey, you're out there for half the game. I think you just tell him, prepare to play the entire game. If I take you out, I take you out. But you have to be ready to play that whole game. Because I've seen this before with the Packers where they're told that they're going to play a half, and you just kind of go through the motions. That's not good for anybody either.
Going through the motions is what the defense looked like they were doing this past weekend. I mean, there were times where I was like, oh, out of office? Defense. I know everybody else is on holiday. You still got to show up. You still got to play this game. And there were many moments where I was like, well, this is a half-ass effort at best. I'm concerned, as Gabe mentioned, about the Vikings defense and seeing an opportunity to not just ruin the Packers season by handing them a loss this weekend, but ruin the Packers future by giving Jordan a significant injury. And I know that can happen on any given week, and you can't play scared. But there is a part of me that goes, I don't know, man. This team, these players, they're dropping like flies at this point. And so there is a little part of me that wants to bubble wrap Jordan Love and wait and save him for the postseason. Malik Willis, as he showed, and I know he's likely not 100%, but I don't think he was going into last game either, has been dynamic. He's been fantastic. He has earned himself a lot of money on the open market as a free agent. We'll get into that as the show goes on, obviously, as well. Where do you think Malik Willis is next year? Which team is most interested in his services? But, I mean, is that bad of me, Gabe, to be like, oh, God, please don't hurt our starting quarterback?
Yeah, because, again, he can get hurt at any point. Right, and I understand being a little gun shy, but at the same time, to me, if you want to have any chance to actually win that game, whether it's against the Bears, whether it's against the Eagles, but I think winning that playoff game, again, just kind of gives you confidence no matter what going forward. Now, again, winning beyond a playoff game, I think would be tough with the way this roster is beat up, but I think you've got an opportunity where you could beat the Eagles, you could beat the Bears in that playoff game, and the best way to do that is to not have Jordan Love out there after sitting for a month.
So it sounds to me like you guys are giving this team a pass because of injuries. And next year is just going to be, okay, let's roll it back again.
I don't know if I'm giving them a pass, Chew. What I'm choosing to do this morning is not be fire and brimstone, raging over the loss to the Ravens when I look at this roster and go, who is that guy? Where did he come from? I don't even know who that is. You know what I'm saying when it comes to the depth of the roster. There is another layer of intrigue that we will get into this morning, and that is Matt LaFleur. If you think he's coaching for his career, if you think he's coaching for his life, for his job, does that change how he manages the roster, Gabe? Does that change who is out there on Sunday? Because there is a portion of the population that believes that Ed Policy is waiting to see how this team does in the postseason to make a decision on Matt LaFleur's future. And if that's the case, Matt LaFleur, Katie bar the door, man. You're going to have to show. And look, I'll just weigh in on that very quickly and let you guys also react before we move on. What Matt LaFleur did as far as the scheme and the offense with Malik Willis under center, once again, should be interpreted as a feather in Matt LaFleur's cap. And I don't think as a fan you can pick and choose when you congratulate and laud Matt LaFleur based on what you're seeing on the field, and when you say, oh, he's hot garbage. I think it feels like there's a lot of criticism for Matt LaFleur, but when something like that happens, and you've got Malik Willis, what were his numbers? 18 of 21? Or
18 of 21, 288 and a touchdown. Also had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Thank you. I think that is at least in part because of the way that Matt LaFleur schemed the offense on Saturday, Gabe.
Yeah. I think Matt LaFleur has done a great job, and has probably done his best offensive work when his back has been against the wall. I don't think that this week's game would have anything to do, because if he wins,
no, postseason.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I don't think this Vikings game. But if LaFleur is on the chopping block, my question is, why isn't Gutekunst right next to him? To me, they're hand in hand here. If Chewy, you want to talk about this roster not being good enough, that falls on one guy. If you want to say they're not playing well enough, that's fine too.
Yeah.
That falls on a different guy. I just think that these two should be tied at the hip. I at this point.
Yeah, so you don't give him street cred for Micah getting that deal done? That doesn't get him a little more time.
Oh, so he gets a pass for Micah being injured?
No, I'm just saying, Gabe, and we talked about it before. Some coaches are really good coordinators in that, but they're not head coaches. Ray Rhodes, I played with him when he was our D coordinator, and guys loved him, and they played hard for him, and he was great, but he wasn't a head coach. I'm just tired of spinning wheels. All of a sudden, Derrick Henry doesn't do much all year long, and all of a sudden he torches the Packers, and now, Derrick Henry, he should be the MVP.
He had been coming on as of late.
But I'm just saying, it's just like,
But the narrative there, Chew, was why aren't they using Derrick Henry in Baltimore?
Yeah.
Right? The questions were, Lamar Jackson's banged up. Use your workhorse.
He had 125 yards in 3 quarters, and they didn't use him in the fourth quarter in a loss a couple of weeks ago. So that was more questioning what the hell they were doing. But I would push back to Matt LaFleur is a head coach. Like, the success that he has had, if you fire Matt LaFleur, he is not going to be without a job for long. Like, he is going to be on the top of every list.
Yeah.
Like, that dude's a head coach. If you want to say that the message is tiring and maybe it's just time for a new voice, sure. But I will push back if you don't think that Matt LaFleur is a head coach, because he is. Like, he's had too much success in this league to say he isn't at this point.
Yeah, but doesn't there come a time?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
if
look,
you want to make that argument, I think that's the argument to make, Chew. But also, this franchise has never fired a coach after they've made the postseason.
Yeah. Is this defense good enough without Micah Parsons to even come close to a Super Bowl? No.
Okay, but so if that's the case, Chew, is that on the floor? Is that on Goody?
Well, yeah, from that standpoint, yeah, it's on Goody. He's got his fingerprints all over this thing. It's just if we go to Chicago and lose again, it's just like, okay, let's bring it back next year. And next year, we don't, like I said, Parsons is going to be out for 6 games. You're going to get rid of Gary. You have no first-round pick, so we're going to roll it back with Ingabare and Lucas Van Ness, who, God bless them, they play hard. But when it comes to ranking defensive ends in the NFL, they're in the 20s.
Well, let me ask you a question, Chew. You see Derrick Henry go for 216 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Ravens had 307 total yards on 53 carries. Does that give you confidence going up against Saquon Barkley potentially? Now, again, Saquon has not been the same Saquon. No. They have not been using him the same way. He has not been able to chew up the turf the way that he has in the past. But it's either the Eagles' rushing offense or it's the Bears' rushing offense.
The Bears' rushing offense, by the way, is light years ahead of the Eagles. The Eagles, everything the Eagles do on offense stinks right now. It is bad. It is bad. So I would not be that scared of going up against Saquon Barkley.
Put it on the poll. We got Will the Thrill back there behind the glass this morning. Will, put it on the poll. I want to know, who would you rather face in week 1 of the postseason? Because right now it's 60% Bears, 40% Eagles. Those are the only 2 options. Packers locked into the 7th seed, as we mentioned at the top of the show, but those are who they could play, either the Bears or the Eagles. And by the way, as you know, as they're the 7th seed, they're going on the road for either of those games. Who would you rather face? You want the Bears again? You want the Eagles again? Played the Bears twice, played the Eagles once. How'd those games go again, Gabe?
1 and 2. 1 and 2. But again, the Eagles won a game for the second time this year without completing a pass in the second half. Second time they've done that this year. That is a stinky offense. It is tough to watch. They somehow won, but that offense they cannot move the ball with any sort of consistency.
And it is wild that they are the defending Super Bowl champs.
Can you imagine winning a game without completing a pass in the second half?
But also that weather was terrible.
I don't care. It's the second time
I'm just saying, you zoom in and all of a sudden you realize that they're playing in a monsoon there.
I don't care. Josh Allen still completed passes. It's not like it was impossible to throw the football.
How did the game go for the Bills? That was a similar result.
I saw Josh Allen throw a dart on the potential game-tying drive. So that again,
saw him throw it at the ground when they needed that touchdown at the end of the game. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Lots of stuff to get to. Your reaction all morning long. If you're on the line, stay on the line. 800-990-3776. That's the Carbless Talk and Text line. You can weigh in on all the things we have addressed, and we got a lot more cooking. Chewy mentioned Rashan Gary. We mentioned Ed Policy. We're talking about Malik Willis. Lots of stuff to get to this morning as we continue breaking down the Packers' loss to the Ravens and look ahead to their Week 18 matchup against the Vikings. Stick around.
Boost culture with captivating corporate events like appreciation parties, brand activations, and more with our friends at Events by Design. You may have attended something that Events by Design had their hands in and didn't even know it. If you stop by the night market during the summer months, just outside here on Wisconsin Avenue, just outside of our studios here at ESPN Milwaukee, maybe you went to the holiday market that was in outside Fiserv Forum in the month of November. Events by Design helped with all of those. Whether you're looking for Events by Design to help you plan and they can put on the party, or maybe they're just going to add just a little bit to whatever event you're throwing, like they did with us with our golf outing, Events by Design can help you because for over 25 years, Events by Design has helped companies execute successful events. Retain your top talent. Invest in that culture today. Just search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
It is a rough ride out on the roads. We've got a bunch of accidents all over the place. Eastbound on 94 has got the left lane blocked right at Highway F in Waukesha County. Then a little bit further on at Barker Road, we've also got a crash off on the right shoulder there. We got one on the ramp from Brown Deer Road to southbound 43, right near the Ozaki County line. Then we've also got northbound Loomis at 894 eastbound with the left lane blocked. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast, we have a winter weather advisory until 6 p.m. today for all of southeast Wisconsin. Winter storm warning until 6 p.m. for Fond du Lac and Sheboygan counties. But today, morning snow, windy with a high of 23. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 10. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Whether your child is just learning to dribble or is already working on their threes, Bucks Youth Basketball Camps are the place to play, learn, and have a blast, too. Packed with games, skills challenges, and high fives, Bucks Youth Basketball Camps foster fun and teamwork for all skill levels. Get ready for your youngster to ball like a Buck. Learn more about upcoming Bucks Youth Basketball Camps at bucks.com/camps. That's bucks.com/camps.
When storms hit or accidents happen, it's not just about property, it's about people. I'm Mandy Grimal-Lococo with Grimal & Associates Insurance. We help families bundle home, auto, and life coverage so you're never facing life's what-ifs alone. With the heavy rains we've seen in Milwaukee, we'll review your policy to be sure water backup, sump pump failures, and flood risks don't drain your wallet. Your home is more than walls and a roof, it's where life happens. At Grimal & Associates Insurance in Shorewood, we're here to protect your home, your family, and your peace of mind. Call us today at 414-332-0838.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Is it against the law to be a moron or no?
The law,
Not yet.
I texted this to Jen earlier. The law does protect some people from things that are called an attractive nuisance.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I would say we've had some early discussions in regards to what route we're going to do, and I'll be able to update you guys later in the week. But nothing is, despite what has been reported potentially, nothing's been decided.
That's Matt LaFleur on whether or not they will rest guys in Week 18 in what is now a meaningless game against the Minnesota Vikings. And as Gabe mentioned earlier in the show, you can't really rest everybody. It's a numbers game at this point. I was just reading an article on Acme Packing Company during the break. 3 Green Bay Packers were held back for health issues on Saturday. 6 more players injured in action and did not return to the field. you can't really go down the list when it comes to healthy scratches when your team is as banged up as they are. But what I want to know right now, Gabe, is who would you sit?
The only guy, again, I think it's some of the guys that you have been, like Zach Tom, right? To me, Zach Tom, as he continues to be out dealing with back and knee injuries, he is a candidate that you would continue to sit him. I would say Josh Jacobs, who was limited and said as much after the game that the plan was try to limit him, so just give him more rest with the knee, try to get him as close to, and there's not a chance he will be, 100% before the playoff game. But guys that have been banged up. I mean, Evan Williams was dealing with a knee, seemed to come out of it all right, but if it's bothering him a little bit, I think you can sit him. But again, the problem is, I mean, on an NFL roster, you don't have true backups at every position. Like, they only have 9 offensive linemen on the roster, right? So a starter has to play there based on who you have. You only have 4 linebackers. You have 4 cornerbacks. Like, guys have to play. You're not just going to be able to, let's just play the entire second team because it's not the preseason. You don't have 100 guys on the roster. So I think it's just, okay, who do you sit? And it's guys that are beat up. And if you could give them the extra rest, you can. But otherwise, you want to be playing well. You have not been playing well the last 3 weeks, right? To me, you want to see if you can at least get a little bit of momentum, try to find a little bit of a groove on the offensive side, maybe a little bit on the defensive side, depending upon who's healthy there as well. But you want to find a little bit of a groove going into that postseason game. So you've lost your last 3. I don't think you want to go in on a 4-game losing streak.
I wonder if they lost the locker room. Because I'll never forget earlier in my career, I mean, guys would have their cars packed.
Yeah.
They'd have their cars packed. And then Ron would go out there and see who's got their car packed. All right, he's cut. No, literally. And I wonder if there's guys packing cars.
Is there
packing
something
up their
that
apartment.
you've seen, Shu, that makes you wonder about that? Is it the performance?
Other than how they play on the field?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is it as simple as whether it's the defensive performance this last week against the Ravens, whether there have been other moments where you've thought this team is mailing it in? Is it player by player? Are there certain guys?
Yeah, there's always some. It's just like, I mean, because you play with guys that don't really care as much as other guys do, and that's frustrating. And obviously there was more earlier in my career, and then he weeded them out. But you're never going to have 100 guys on the same page, you know? There's always guys that are like, let's see, would I rather have, let's say, 2 catches for 12 yards and win, or would I rather have 7 catches for 110 and a touchdown and lose? You'd be surprised how many guys would take the 7 for 110.
Well, So last year after they lost in the postseason, and Tucker Kraft kind of talked about weeding some of those guys out, Chew, I thought about that when Evan Williams, who was one of just 3 defensive players who decided to speak after the game because a lot of them avoided the media after, being embarrassed. Evan Williams kind of called out a little bit of the effort stuff as well, and LaFleur was asked about that yesterday, and he said, there were times where, especially defensively, it wasn't up to the standard. And I don't know how, again, at that point this happens, but you have when you have players calling it out, I think there have to be questions about some of the effort things that are happening.
Well, and I think Carrington Valentine got benched, didn't he, during the game because of his efforts in tackling Derrick Henry?
Yeah, I mean,
or lack thereof.
Yeah, he's just not a good tackler, and I think you needed, which is why Kamal Hadden was in the game, and that's how Kamal Hadden was injured to begin with because he's a better tackler. Like, if you're playing a team that's going to throw the ball a little bit more, Carrington, I think, still would have been out there, but Valentine's just not a good tackler.
Chew, would you rather see Malik Willis under center in Week 18 against the Vikings or Jordan Love?
I mean, if Jordan's healthy, I'd like to see him play a little bit, but have him go in there and air it out and just kind of flush that Denver game because it was such a bad game. I could see him playing half the game, but protect him, like Gabe said. You don't want him going out there. And it's interesting to see how Minnesota will play. Like, who's going to have more fire? Like, this game, you got to play with emotion. You can't go out there and half-ass it, because if you do, that
307
what happens
yards
on Saturday, what happens on Saturday.
Yeah.
So in a meaningless game, I don't think I ever played in a meaningless game in my career. It was always fighting. So, my approach for preseason was the exact same for the regular season. I took Agent Orange before preseason, and obviously during the regular season. You can't go out there because, the old adage, if you go out and you give it 80%, you're going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
which is true. You have to get yourself into that mindset. So it'll be interesting to see how Minnesota approaches this. Because even if the Packers do lose, it's not going to affect their seeding. So
800-990-3776. Let's go out to the phone lines. Thomas in Chicago waiting on the line. You vetted this. This is a Packers fan, Will?
It appears so, yeah. He wants to talk about the personnel of the Packers.
All right, let's see. Thomas from Chicago, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, Thomas.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Yes, I'm a Packers fan, live in Chicago. It's tough, especially at this time of year. I think Gabe is right. If people want to give LaFleur flack and new voice, I think Goody should be on the hot seat. I mean, you look at the draft picks he's flopped with the second and third round picks. But my question is I agree with what Chewy said. This team is not good. This team with Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft and Wyatt lost to the Browns, tied with the Cowboys, and lost with the Panthers. And even when Tucker Kraft got hurt, we were still losing by the Panthers. So this team has major holes. I mean, no offense. You have Keyshawn Nixon and Valentine as your two starting cornerbacks. I don't think those guys would start for the Rams, Seahawks, or any other playoff contender. So it's they need mirrors to look themselves in the face and just say, it's on us. We got to do better. And I don't know if you guys think that how long it'll take to be at the statue of those other teams. Is this a quick fix, or do they need to weed guys out as long as that policy looks at the future? So let me know what can be done.
Well, the problem with those guys, they're fine when you have a Micah Parsons, or you can generate some kind of pass rush. The problem is when you don't, like Saturday, those guys are on an island for a long time, and I don't care who you are. You ain't going to be able to cover anyone. Are they all pro players? No. Can you get by with them if you can create pressure? Sure.
Well, but the problem ends up being, Chew, when you don't have Micah, now you've got to blitz a little bit more, and now it's man-to-man on the back end. Instead of with Micah, you can generate with 4, and you can do a bunch of different things to disguise your coverages on the back end. Right? You can play man, you can play zone, you can do all these different things if you're just rushing 4, which is why that's the holy grail for every defense, trying to generate pressure with your front 4 and not having to blitz all too often in order to generate that pressure. But when you have to consistently bring those 6 guys up to the line of scrimmage and you know you're going to be dropping 2, maybe you bring also, you're trying to confuse the offensive line. I mean, the quarterback knows on the back end is if he gets a little bit of time, it's going to be man-to-man. He's going to have an opportunity to complete a pass.
Yeah, no,
that
ends up being the tough part on the back end.
Folks weighing in on the Carbless Talk and text line and on the YouTube stream. Remember, you can always weigh in on the show, get your thoughts heard on the YouTube stream. John says you cannot rest this team against Minnesota next week. There's something to be said for going into the playoffs with momentum. Going 0-4 into the playoffs is a losing mentality. I do see a lot of that sentiment, folks wanting to see the starters out there in order to just make sure that you're going in with momentum, that you can put a good game on tape, that you can say, hey, oh, look, we are a better team than we have shown in recent weeks. And then we got, let's see. I'll keep checking out the Carbless Talk and text line and the YouTube stream. But then we have Matt who says, hey, Jen, where's my breakfast? So a little dose of misogyny this morning on the old YouTube stream. Love to see that, Matt.
Where is your breakfast? What did you bring in today?
Already ate it.
Okay.
Bagel, butter, salt. And I brought it in a little baggie. Look at that.
We're getting there.
Look at that. That's
learning lessons.
That's called growth. That's what that is. That's called growth.
We're not even at the new year, but new year, new Jen. I like it.
Take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Continue after this. Go ahead, Chew.
You guys, Jen, you asked a question. Where would you guys rather go? I would rather go to Chicago than Philly.
Yes, I would.
Just because I have PTSD because of Dallas. All those years we go to Dallas, and you're like, I think we can beat them. No, you can't.
As you said, Philadelphia's offense, not great, but their defense
their defense is fantastic. Their defense is still, I mean, as bad as their offense is, that's how good that defense is. And, the Bears' offense certainly played better last night. Again, that's a defense that, as long as you don't turn it over, you're going to be able to move the ball against. And that's been the case against the Bears all season.
Yeah.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on. Stick around.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
It is a rough ride out on the roads. We've got a bunch of accidents all over the place. Eastbound on 94 has got the left lane blocked right at Highway F in Waukesha County. Then a little bit further on at Barker Road, we've also got a crash off on the right shoulder there. We got one on the ramp from Brown Deer Road to southbound 43, right near the Ozaukee County line. Then we've also got northbound Loomis at 894 eastbound with the left lane blocked. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast, we have a winter weather advisory until 6 p.m. today for all of southeast Wisconsin. Winter storm warning until 6 p.m. for Fond du Lac and Sheboygan counties. But today, morning snow, windy with a high of 23. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 10. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
The holidays can stir up a lot. Stress, loneliness, even pressure to drink or use. If you're feeling anxious, depressed, or just finding it harder to cope, you don't have to wait for things to get worse. Hazelden Betty Ford offers treatment and counseling that fits your life and your needs. Call 1-855-489-2383 or visit hazeldenbettyford.org. Change starts when you do, and you're closer to feeling better than you think. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with AccuTrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use AccuTrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. AccuTrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can really shine.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. Our team leads with faith, gratitude, and giving back, donating over $200,000 to local causes since 2020.
Tony Wendorf & Associates is ready to get to work for you with our white glove selling experience. Just search online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
At Citizens Bank, we believe banking is more than transactions. It's about being recognized and remembered. It's feeling like you're understood and supported along the way. It's the small stuff that says, we know you. Because when your bank gets you, banking just feels better. Citizens Bank. Bank where you belong. Learn more at citizensbankwi.bank/belong. Citizens Bank is member FDIC.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Just jump on it.
That's what he did.
Chewy, jump on it, jump on it, jump on it. Slow down.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating three. You know the feeling, and there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. That's the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxurious seating, great food, a fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall so you can catch all the action. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. There's, of course, more information available online. Must be 21 years old to enter the casino. Dave from Aaron weighing in on the Carbless Talk and Text line. He says, I don't have a lot of faith in a deep playoff run, but you never know any given game and whatnot. I wouldn't play the starters on Sunday to keep the players from getting rusty. I would play the starters on Sunday to keep the players from getting rusty. That did the old wraparound. the wraparound on the read. I would play the starters on Sunday to keep them from getting rusty. Sounds like many people want to see the starters out there playing. Maybe Packers fans, want it to erase the bad taste in their mouth from what they saw on Saturday night against the Ravens. Watching your defense get gashed like that, the way that Derrick Henry and company were able to just chew up the yardage, it doesn't feel great. Especially as you're like a playoff team, a team that you thought could hang in the NFC. That makes you question everything.
Yeah, I mean, losing 4-0 and then going to the Chicago or Philly. You know what? And I want to ask you, I don't know why Vegas still has faith in this team. Like, why? Why? Okay, let me ask you guys this. Packers beat Vikings 16-13. Bears beat Lions 16-13. What's the line in 2 weeks?
Probably Bears. My guess is Bears -4.
That much? Okay.
3 or 4.
I will tell you, Chew, I thought I saw that the Packers are dogs this weekend.
Big
I
dogs.
thought 6.5.
What?
Packers
Why?
are 6.5 point dog. Mostly because my guess is that line is set on, okay, this team doesn't have anything to play for. They're going to the Vikings on the road. They're beat up. Probably not going to put their best effort out there. Maybe that line changes if Matt LaFleur comes out at some point this week saying, hey, we're playing our starters. We're playing our starters the entire game. But right now they're 6.5 point dogs.
That's crazy because Minnesota's playing for absolutely nothing either.
Mm-hmm.
You can get plus 200 if you take the Packers straight up this weekend at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Ooh.
I thought you were grabbing your phone to go ahead and put a little bet in.
Stop by later. Just scan that old QR.
I tell you this. I tell you that. I like Malik Willis.
Yeah, what's not to like?
I was about to say, how can you not like him? If your take was, I don't like Malik Willis, I would have to have bigger questions.
I just read a stat to Gabe that said that he's tied for the most completions on 20-plus air yard throws by a Packers quarterback in a game, including playoffs, in the last 20 seasons. Tied with Aaron Rodgers, who had 6 completions of 20 or more air yards in the 2016 divisional round against the Cowboys.
Well, let me ask you this. Why does LaFleur cut it loose with Malik Willis and he doesn't cut it loose with Jordan Love?
Why do you think?
I think they had been cutting it loose more and more with Jordan.
No, but I love those backdoor runs. And Jordan's an athlete, and he can run.
He's not that athlete, though. He's not like that.
You don't think so?
No, God, no. Malik
not as fast?
Oh, God, no. No.
Okay. Because I like the play calling. I don't know. I just like the play calling on the Willis. You're kind of like, you know what, guy's a backup. He's not supposed to do great. Screw it. Let's just let him loose.
Well,
and the dude makes throws.
And I think it was also pretty obvious that the Ravens decided, oh, Malik's in the game. Okay, you're not going to run the ball a bunch on us. We're going to make him beat us with his arm. And he got to face some pretty favorable coverages on the back end. And that's why I guess he was kind of ripping it and cutting it loose a little bit more because he had those favorable matchups.
Chew, if you had to guess who the favorite is to win the Super Bowl right now, if you had to guess the favorite to make the Super Bowl in the NFC, who would you guess it is? NFC teams, who do you think has the best odds to make the Super Bowl right now?
I would pick the Rams.
That is not what ESPN Analytics has.
Probably the Seahawks.
I would pick the Rams. I think the Rams just offensively are better than the Seahawks. Both have really good defenses, but I'd give the edge to the Rams.
Who do you think wins that pivotal game on Sunday night between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks? Saturday night. Thank you very much.
Where's it at?
That game is in San Fran.
I can't figure out San Fran. I really can't.
Because
their defense,
they can't stop anyone, but nobody can stop them. They punted for the first time since November last night.
I would say, and that's for the number 1 seed.
For the number 1 seed. Rams cannot get the number 1 seed. Rams are locked into a wild card.
I'll go Seattle, just because of their D.
And did I hear that Fred Warner could be back for a postseason run?
They seem hopeful, but it also kind of has tinges of, Giannis might be back for this postseason run. Chris Middleton could be back for this postseason run, and then they're not actually back. My guess is that the Niners would have to make a pretty deep postseason run in order for Fred to be able to go out there and play.
As for those ESPN analytics, the NFC playoff picture, according to ESPN.com, Packers have an 11% chance to make the Super Bowl. Behind, as you suspect, the Seattle Seahawks, the Los Angeles Rams, the San Francisco 49ers, the Philadelphia Eagles. But if it makes you feel any better, the Chicago Bears only have a 7% chance to make the postseason.
Did they do the AFC? Who do they have as the best in the AFC?
They did. Let me scroll. AFC teams, Denver has a 23% chance to make the Super Bowl. New England has an 18% chance to make the Super Bowl. Jacksonville 13, Houston 12, Buffalo 12. That according to ESPN Analytics. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to get to. I know you guys want to dive in on the Rashan Gary situation because there was a graphic that was distributed on social media this week. And I believe the attached caption was, Rashan Gary is so bad. We'll dive into that when Jen, Gabe, and Chewy comes back.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Nobody should be writing the season off. The idea of being one of the top teams without two of your best players is a big reach. But this is a season that you can find ways to do it.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
You think anybody ever feels sorry for the Green Bay Packers? They don't. And they shouldn't. And you shouldn't.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Why Z-Bart? Because you don't want rust holes in your expensive vehicle. Let Z-Bart keep the rust away with professional rust protection. Only at Z-Bart.
The Packers dropped their third straight game, falling to the Baltimore Ravens at Lambeau Field on Saturday night. Despite 3 touchdowns from Malik Willis, Green Bay's defense couldn't slow down a Ravens rushing attack that piled up 307 yards on the ground. Here's head coach Matt LaFleur after the game.
Humbling night. Give Baltimore a ton of credit. They came in here and were in complete control the whole game. And unfortunately, it wasn't up to our standard in regards to how we played, how we coached, and that's what happens.
The Packers look to bounce back in their regular season finale on the road in Minnesota against the Vikings.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Do you want your car to shine like a diamond? Then you need Z-Gloss from Z-Bart. Z-Gloss gives you a mirror finish and protects your paint from everything Mother Nature can throw at it with a 10-year guarantee. Visit zbart.com for more information.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at more than 25 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that's Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
The Packers dropped their third straight game, falling to the Baltimore Ravens at Lambeau Field on Saturday night. Despite 3 touchdowns from Malik Willis, Green Bay's defense couldn't slow down a Ravens rushing attack that piled up 307 yards on the ground. Here's head coach Matt LaFleur after the game.
Humbling night. Give Baltimore a ton of credit. They came in here and were in complete control the whole game. And unfortunately, it wasn't up to our standard in regards to how we played, how we coached, and that's what happens.
The Packers look to bounce back in their regular season finale on the road in Minnesota against the Vikings.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank.
Family's bigger? Out of space? We can help you find a new place. Just make Tri-City your first call. We are here to help, loan large or small. Tri-City National Bank, equal housing lender, NMLS 433891.
When it comes to joint replacement, you want the best care available. The Orthopedic Surgery Center in Pewaukee is a leader in joint replacement, offering same-day surgery with advanced technology. Their team of experts specializes in knee, hip, and shoulder replacements, using the latest techniques to minimize pain and recovery time. The team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin can get you back to what matters, living pain-free. Total joint replacement. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But remember he said his birthday?
Yeah.
Maybe we get a little freaky.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, look at our horny little boy. Good for him. Like, everybody's so supportive of Giannis, they just kind of look past it.
On 94.5 ESPN.
When I need to get somewhere on time and in style, I always use Accutrans Group. They are my trusted ride during the college football season and our preferred transportation partners for Green Bay game day here at Good Karma Brands. We rely on them for our partners because they know how to handle everything from corporate travel and conventions to private events and tailgates. They'll learn your preferences. They are always on time, and they make booking pretty simple. They're veteran-owned, available 24/7, and deliver a first-class experience every single time. What are you waiting for? If you have an event that you need transportation for, Accutrans Group is your group. They deliver a first-class experience every single time, guys. Accutransgroup.com. It's Accutransgroup.com for safe and reliable transportation wherever you have to go. There have been moments this season where Jeff Hafley and Matt LaFleur have defended Rashan Gary for various reasons. You know, we've heard a number of different things as to why Rashan Gary's production has been down. But he only played 34 snaps, did not have a sack or a tackle for loss for the 9th straight game. And as I mentioned, Gabe, there was a graphic swirling around on social media that said he is so bad. What did that graphic illustrate?
So it just kind of shows quick pressures, which is one measure that a lot of people look at because, again, you get to the quarterback quickly. That's how you interrupt the play, whether it ends up being a sack or whether it just ends up being a pressure. And really, there's just nobody who has had as many pass rush snaps as he has, you know, just shy of 400, and had as few quick pressures as he has had. So he plays a bunch, but really can't get after the quarterback in a quick manner. And
would you send him a message on Sunday and make him play the whole game? Kind of the reverse. See
He's
if
sitting out there
he can get a little angry.
I'm doing
see if
the
he
Jack
gets
Nicholson
angry
thing where he goes, yes, and the slow nod. Look, there was always going to be a spotlight on Rashan Gary because he was drafted 12th overall in the 2019 NFL draft. So you were always going to expect a lot from him as a first-round draft pick. But then when you lose Micah Parsons, the departure of Micah Parsons, the spotlight gets even greater, and he just has not answered the call, man. And again, now we can have that conversation, the layers of it. How much do you blame the player for not, elevating his production, not, adding to his performance? How much do you blame Goody for missing in the draft because he has never been what you thought he could be? But also, there's a lot of people who say Rashan Gary has been in the NFL what he was in college. There's not that great of a difference between the performances you saw at Michigan and the performances you have seen in Green Bay. So who do you blame for the Rashan Gary mess, Chew?
Goody, I wouldn't say drafting him was a big mistake. I would say re-signing him was a big mistake because that MO was out there. I mean, I think he was the number one high school player in the country. It went to Michigan. And just a low-energy guy. And I said it halfway through the season. I said, he plays like a guy that's had enough. Like, I got my money, had a good rookie deal, broke the bank on the second one. I'm done. He just plays with no energy. I mean,
I honestly don't know what his market's going to be after the Packers release him this offseason.
I don't think he's going to really have one.
That's the issue, and I think the Packers are realizing that. And so I guess I wasn't expecting him to raise his level of play because that's just, again, not who this guy has proven to be over the last handful of seasons. Like, expecting more out of Rashan Gary after Micah Parsons went down, to me, was a fool's errand. What made you think that he was going to, at all, raise his level of play when things were going to get more difficult for him without Micah Parsons?
I mean, but what a further indictment of him then, Gabe. What a further indictment to say that when your team needs you more, when you've lost a generational player, you can't step up, you can't find another gear, or you choose not to. Like that,
he just doesn't have
that to me is more egregious than just not being good enough.
But he spoke to the media after Parsons got hurt and didn't feel he needed to step up because he said he was playing great. So maybe the guy's just delusional. You remember that interview?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And then you got Hafley gushing over him, and, I don't know. But he gives me zero faith.
Well, yeah, it's why he wasn't out there. He was out there for less than 50% of the snaps and was significantly outsnapped by Angabari and Lucas Van Ness. And some of that is also they were going to more trying to stop the runs. They were putting 3 defensive tackles on the field with just 1 defensive end, but still, like, to be that significantly outsnapped by the other 2, it shows where Rashan Gary is in the eyes of everybody.
See how frustrating it is to play with guys like that?
Yeah.
Do you see how frustrating it is to hear him? Because I'm sure his teammates heard him say, hey, I'm playing great. What's everyone talking about here? Like, are you delusional?
Well, but to be fair, Chu, didn't Hafley say something similar?
Yeah.
I don't have the direct quote in front of me, but I have a general understanding that Hafley was defending his play as well. And look, sometimes guys do that just to make their players feel like they're not calling them out in the media. Packers have a decision to make on Gary's future. The cap hit goes to over $28 million in 2026. They can save $11 million on the cap by releasing or trading him before June 1st. Gabe, is it a foregone conclusion that Rashan Gary is off this roster?
Yeah, it's cute that I think it's a decision at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any sort of decision. You can use that $11 million that you're going to save against the cap and use that elsewhere to lock up some of the players you have on the roster, to potentially bring in somebody from the outside. I can't imagine that Rashan Gary is going to be on this team next season. Just can't imagine it.
I think it's kind of weak that the players didn't talk to the media. You said there was only 3 players that talked to the media.
I think only 3 ended up talking to the media after the game.
That's so weak. And that's on LaFleur. You own it. Own it, right? You play like crap, you go in and own it. You don't go and hide. I just think that's incredibly weak. And I didn't like when number 4 did it back in the day. I thought that was weak. And I don't like guys not owning it. No.
General Principal weighing in on the YouTube stream. He says, trade Gary. I'm just not sure what his trade market, what his trade value would be.
If you could, I would welcome the draft pick compensation. I just don't know what you get in return. I don't know anybody who's going to be lining up for a guy that. What, you think we're the only ones who are aware of the Rashan Gary struggles over the last 8 weeks? I think the rest of the league might be aware as well.
Yeah.
But again, going back to the conversation that we had earlier this morning, how much is Goody to blame for, one, missing on Rashan Gary? Because I think that we all can agree on. But then also not having supplements behind him, right? Like, since they lost Parsons in the second half of Denver, the Packers have had just 1 sack. It came when Quay Walker tackled Tyler Huntley, or Scoop Huntley, at the line of scrimmage on a designated rollout. This from PackersWire.com. There are other guys. It is not just Rashan Gary who is playing on that defensive line. Are you telling me that those guys are also achieving their potential? Those guys are playing up to snuff? I would argue no.
I just don't think they're good, and they're not paid accordingly. That's the problem. Is Gary, you're making a boatload of money, and you're a low load type of player where you don't play a lot of games. Look at San Francisco, because San Francisco lost Bosa, which was huge, and they lose Fred. What's his name?
Warner.
Fred Warner. Okay, the Packers lost Parsons and Wyatt, but they still find a way to win in San Francisco.
Yeah, and they've done it with their offense.
Tell me when this team looked like a Super Bowl contender, because you're going to say Detroit, but Detroit sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, after going through that divisional chase, and you're 3-0, where we're thinking, man, you come out of this 2-1.
But was that it, Gabe? Was that it? Was that the only stretch?
That was probably the best that they looked.
I think everybody
the first
thought.
2 games.
I think the Steelers game, and maybe again, as we discussed when that game took place, because of the narratives that were surrounding it, because Aaron Rodgers was on the other side of the field, that game I feel like people felt real good about.
Are you guys with me though? In this roster is overinflated, or is it just me?
I don't think it's as bad as you think it is. But it is not as good as a lot of people think it is. I think it's somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Because, again, I think I get you to agree. Tucker Kraft's a pretty good player.
Yeah. I agree.
And yes, he's hurt, and he probably would have been a Pro Bowler this year had he not torn his ACL. The fact of the matter is he did, right? And you have to accept that. So I think there is some talent on this roster. I don't think it's, the one Pro Bowl thing you can point to, and okay, then other people have to step up even when you have these injuries, and nobody has really stepped up. Like Edgerrin Cooper hasn't built off of what he did as a rookie.
No.
Hasn't taken that step forward.
Not consistent.
That we were hoping that he would.
I mean, you still got Xavier McKinney on this team.
Yeah, Xavier's
who I
still
think
really
people are
good.
saying, nobody's shipping him off. Nobody's saying that, we've talked also about, like, it's misleading to sit there and look at some of his numbers, interceptions and whatnot, if you're not throwing the ball in his direction. I know that applies to cornerbacks as well. And look, maybe it is that the cornerbacks that they have on this team, which I think people feel like we could certainly upgrade there, but that was a conversation we had all offseason as well. Right? Are they going to? And they did throw resources towards it when they went out and got Nate Hobbs. But I think we all can agree that was a miss as well.
I got another question for you.
I love it when Chewy has questions.
Why is Bo Melton playing offense?
He's probably going to have to play defense this week, though, don't you think?
I know, but why? Yeah. Develop Golden. Get. I just hate how they don't let guys play. They're not tired. The more you play, the better you get. Why is he playing offense? I mean, have they folded the tent on Golden already? Golden can handle the load.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Chew. That has been a sticking point for me for quite some time. And yeah, Bo's gone out there and made a couple of plays, but one also went right through his hands.
And a pick,
in the interception for our guy Clayton Tune.
Oh my God, I forgot Clayton Tune was out there for that little brief cup of coffee on Saturday.
I mean, in fairness, I guess, to
it
Bo
wasn't
there,
on him. That interception was not on the quarterback.
No, it wasn't on him.
It was also kind of a knuckleball, though, he threw.
It
might have been a Mike Sherman special there.
I had uncontrollable laughing when Willis got hit in the face with the
the snap. The premature snap.
I mean, come on, that was funny.
He was trying to switch it to a can play.
I know, it was funny, though.
Got confused. It was an accurate snap.
It tickled Big Cat.
Shart and farter. We'll take a break on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Roll on right after this.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
It is a rough ride out on the roads. We've got a bunch of accidents all over the place. Eastbound on 94 has got the left lane blocked right at Highway F in Waukesha County. Then a little bit further on at Barker Road, we've also got a crash off on the right shoulder there. We got one on the ramp from Brown Deer Road to southbound 43, right near the Ozaukee County line. Then we've also got northbound Loomis at 894 eastbound with the left lane blocked. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast, we have a winter weather advisory until 6 p.m. today for all of southeast Wisconsin. Winter storm warning until 6 p.m. for Fond du Lac and Sheboygan counties. But today, morning snow, windy with a high of 23. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 10. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878. 800-948-7878.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Shoot. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Willis, another dart, another catch. It's Watson for the touchdown. Willis, 2 strikes, and right back at you. Green Bay has life at home. For the touchdown, and he'll keep it here. Running himself with space to move. Touchdown. Malik gets shifty, and the Packers are within a score. First down and 10 from the 11. Willis pulls. Willis runs. Willis scores. Touchdown, Green Bay.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
Packers lose to the Ravens on Saturday night, 41-24, setting up a meaningless game against the Vikings as the Packers are locked into the 7th seed. They will play the Chicago Bears or the Philadelphia Eagles in the first round of the postseason. That is to be determined, but of course it will certainly be in Chicago or in Philadelphia as the Packers will be a road team in the postseason. And I do see the reaction out there. I see a lot of people who are talking about the expanded playoff, and that was in 2020, I believe. Had the league not gone to the expanded playoff, the Packers would have missed the postseason these last 3 years. And that is a sense of frustration that is cause for concern for many Packers fans. I said it at the beginning of the show. I can't begrudge it now. They're in. It's like, they expanded the college football playoff also. And if Ohio State, doesn't get the expanded playoff last year, they don't win a national title. But guess what, guys? They did.
Yeah, Steph Curry wouldn't be a good three-point shooter if they didn't have the three-point line. I guess I just don't care. It's not like they just added it last year. It's 5 years ago at this point where they added this thing, right? Like, it's a different rule change. Yeah.
And yes, we talk all the time about how there are steps to success. You want to see incremental progress. You don't expect a team to go from the cellar to the top, although teams do it. You're seeing that turnaround happen more quickly. Bears are a good example of that. Even the Jaguars,
Patriots,
right? Or Patriots as well when you get Mike Vrabel in there. So it does happen where teams are able to turn it around a lot faster. So I understand that the Packers fan base, when they are expecting excellence, when Super Bowls are the standard, are frustrated about them being the 7th seed. But Chew, do you think that the 7th seed year in and year out is some sort of indictment of the leadership? What I'm asking is, the fact that they have been in the postseason but have been the 7th seed, do you sit there and point the finger at Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst for not coaching this team well enough or putting a good enough roster together?
Yes, this has been a disappointing season. And there's little bits and pieces you got to add to the disappointment. I mean, injuries. But all teams have injuries. All teams do. So you can't use that as an excuse. It's just like things have to change. They have to change. And I know we're not at the end of the season, but I'm not going to pick them, whoever they're playing, Philadelphia or Chicago, to win that game. And if they do lose that game, you can't just always roll it back. It just seems like that's all we do. And we say, well, the injuries will be better next year. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. This roster isn't good enough. And I don't know what it is, And I get it. Like McKinney, great example, had an unbelievable year last year. Was in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year. A lot of times you don't follow seasons up like that. So I'm not saying he's not a great player. And you could say the same thing for Josh Jacobs, right? He clearly had a better year last year than he did this year, but he's still a good player.
Being used differently.
It's just I have some issues on how this team is run. I just do. I don't like the committee crap, If Tucker Kraft didn't get hurt, they ain't using him by committee. They're not like, oh well, Musgrave will play 40% of the snaps. I mean, Christian Watson's clearly your guy. Ride him. They never developed Golden. I mean, I thought he'd have 45 catches and be a part. He was never a part of this offense. Would you agree?
I would
never.
Agree. I would agree. He was never a part. He would be sprinkled in on occasion.
Yeah. So I have issues with things like that. And I wouldn't have spent the money on the offensive line. Right? I wouldn't have signed Banks. I just wouldn't have. Would have left Elton. This offensive line probably would have been better if you left Elton at left left guard and brought Myers back.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were
was a lot
fine.
cheaper, yeah.
Because they were fine. And then you'd have money. So I have some issues on how things are done.
But again, that seems like you're spreading the blame all the way around you, and that's why I feel like a lot of the conversation focuses just on Matt LaFleur, and I would tie the two of these guys together at the hip.
Okay, so even if they are tied together, what do you think Ed Policy does? Do you think that being the 7th seed for yet another year, and let's just play the hypotheticals, right? We'll do the choose your own adventure thing here. Let's say we turn the page to them getting bounced in the first round, whether that's to the Bears or whether it's to the Eagles. Is that a absolutely they both are gone?
I wouldn't put
I think
anything.
it's minimum extensions are offered, and we see what happens.
I don't know. His dad was a no-nonsense guy, and I remember he got rid of Seifert not far after Seifert won a Super Bowl, but he thought it was Bill Walsh's team and didn't like the direction that was going. So he that was his dad, but...
Yeah, but also I guess the lesson to be learned there after they got rid of Seifert, they didn't go into another Super Bowl for a while.
Yeah. Because they brought in Mooch.
Yeah.
I think they brought in Mooch.
Mooch was fine. They had some success. Made the playoffs.
NFC,
But they never made it to a Super Bowl until Jim Harbaugh came in. And then obviously a couple now with Kyle Shanahan. But
I just know, GMs like their guys. GMs do not like to come in with a current head coach there. If the structure is the old structure where the GM is the boss.
Well, so that's another angle, too. Maybe they don't change the personnel, meaning Goody and LaFleur. Maybe they change the structure, and all of a sudden Policy says Goody is Matt LaFleur's boss.
I don't think they can do that while they're here, Jen.
Yeah, that's why I think you tie him at the hip. Now, whoever the next GM is, sure, I think you can do that. But I think...
Correct.
And I know that's something that Rob hinted at a couple of weeks ago with us, where he thinks that is a possibility. I just think that would be, I'm with you, Chu. I think it'd be too tough to go from, hey, you guys are equals to actually now this guy's your boss. But I think you have to keep it the way it is now as long as those two guys are still here.
Let's say they keep LaFleur, keep Goody, and Hafley goes to be a head coach somewhere. We'll be stressing over the defense next year. We'll be really stressing for the first 6 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just out of curiosity, Gabe, what makes you think that? And I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I want to understand the philosophy behind it. Because they've always done it that way with these two guys, they would be hesitant to change the structure? Because Policy can do whatever the hell he wants, honestly.
Yes. But I just think that you're asking too much of those two guys to flip the structure, right? But now you're asking, hey, you're equal. Matt LaFleur, you're equal, but now this guy's your boss.
Yeah, but also
now you have to do what this guy says.
But I'm saying you could make the argument as Ed Policy and say your performances have not been good enough to warrant you being equal to the GM. Therefore, we're demoting you, quote unquote, to now answering to the GM.
Yeah, but also the GM hasn't been good. To me, if you're LaFleur, the GM hasn't been good enough for you to have to answer to.
Again, I think you could go back to the Micah Parsons thing and say that move, that big swing, which was paying off until he got injured with the season-ending ACL, saved him or at least gives him a little bit more leverage in that situation.
Well, LaFleur developed Jordan Love. Jordan Love wasn't very good when he first came in and played for the Packers. He's gotten to the point where he is because I would say Matt LaFleur has been able to coach him up and get to a good spot. Yeah, so one good move by Goody gets rid of Nate Hobbs being really bad, Aaron Banks not being very good. You haven't drafted a Pro Bowl player since the 2019 draft. Like that gets one move for Micah gets rid of all of the bad for Goody. If we're looking at this roster and saying it's not good enough, that's not on LaFleur. That's not his department. And that's why I would just tie these guys together at the hip.
Let me ask you this, though.
I wouldn't want to ask my head coach to now go through that power. If that's what you're going to ask LaFleur to do, then to me, you just fire him.
Was there any point this season where you felt the roster was good enough? Was there any game this season where you said, oh my gosh, this is what Goody's vision was. This is the performance that we expected out of these players, and they can win a Super Bowl? Because I feel like we had that conversation. I feel like we were saying Super Bowl or bust. I feel like we were saying this is a team that can beat anybody.
Yeah, but you would have said the same thing about Matt LaFleur at that time, would you have not? Yeah, I think the answer is yes, you would have. That you can, it's not like, oh, Matt LaFleur's holding this team back after they won 3 straight division games.
My only question about Matt LaFleur was, why aren't you giving Jordan Love more freedom downfield? Why aren't you letting him make those plays? And we talked about it. Maybe you didn't trust him. and maybe that was in his gut. He thought he doesn't have it yet. He's still working towards it, But again, to see Malik Willis go out there and have all of those plays, and I know it was partially what the defense was giving them, and they chose to run the offense that way and let him air it out. But I think that was my only question about Matt LaFleur at times was like, why isn't he letting Jordan Love throw the ball downfield? Why isn't he opening up the playbook for Jordan Love?
And I think, again, at that time, a lot of teams were playing a lot. I mean, again, it's not just, let Jordan Love let it rip. If teams are playing too high, you can't push the ball down the field. Then you have to run the ball better. You weren't running the ball better. Why? Because your offensive line wasn't blocking well enough. That all gets tied in together.
Yeah.
And the Packers were pushing the ball down the field. Once they started running the football better, teams had to respect the run a little bit more, and they were getting looks where Jordan could push the ball down the field because they weren't doing that.
I think it's more of a defensive issue. I mean, if you looked at the first 2 games of the year, how they were flying around, how much energy, and then they play Cleveland, and it's like, what happened?
But I would say, too, they were doing that for the first 58 minutes against the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Until that onside kick happened. I mean, they were flying around. They were making plays. They were gang tackling. There were hats to the football. They've done that a bunch at times this year. But to your point, it hasn't been consistent enough.
Consistently, yeah.
I think we have to figure out if you're Ed Policy, and it's tricky because we don't really know him all that well, right? We know things about him, but it's mostly periphery information. I think we have to figure out if having Tucker Kraft get injured, having Micah Parsons get injured, if he believes that was just too much for this team to overcome, but with talent like that, they could have made a deep Super Bowl run. Or which one weighs more in his mind? That situation of the injuries that this team has dealt with, or watching the team this past weekend against the Ravens with, yes, a slim, but still a possibility of winning the division, an opportunity to go out there and show that you are a playoff caliber team, not just a playoff team in name. That might leave a very nasty taste in Ed Policy's mouth, that game this past Saturday. And that may be something he points to when he decides to make a change.
One of the sayings I like from Homer, catch him on the Homer Hour every weekday from 5 to 6, you can be bad, you can't be embarrassing. And after that game is the first time I thought about these guys being let go, because I think you can use the injuries as, hey, man, this team could have been right there, some real key injuries, maybe we let them run back. Giving up 41 points in the manner in which they did, giving up 307 rushing yards, that's at home. That's embarrassing.
Can I ask you guys a question or revisit a question I asked probably a month and a half ago, based on Malik Willis's performance? Would you rather have Micah Parsons back and sit Jordan Love? Would you rather have Jordan Love out and Micah Parsons back?
Well, I think because of Malik Willis's performance, and again, I don't know how consistently he can deliver that. I don't know if that can be a week in and week out every day of the NFL season. But I think based on what you saw this past week against the Ravens, yes. I think you'd rather have Micah Parsons back out there on the field and have Malik Willis taking snaps.
I think your ceiling's just as high without any one of them. I don't think Malik can do that on a sustained basis.
You don't think so?
I don't.
You don't think he can do enough?
Not to win not to win a Super Bowl. No.
This defense, Gabe, this defense can't win a Super Bowl. Anyone that has that belief is insane.
Oh, I'm 100% there with you. But I'm saying the ceiling's the same if Micah's out or if Jordan's out. I think the ceiling's the same. You hope that you can win that wild card round game, and then that's probably about it.
Yeah.
Because once Malik puts more tape out there, then coordinators are going to make the appropriate adjustments.
Yeah.
Lots of reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talking text line, guys. Stacy says, if you think this team will win another game this season, I'm sorry. You seem to not be real about telling the truth about Packers football. Don't take it personal. Chewy keeps it real. We need more like him. Don weighing in saying, if there isn't a change in the coaching staff or the GM, how can the Packers improve? Are they closer to the Super Bowl than they were last year or the year before? The answer is no. And then Justin says, remember, we are once again the youngest roster in football. When injuries hit, that always shows up. And again, that has been a philosophical decision by the GM. To be one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest, which they have been repeatedly in the league, because he believes that youth, apparently, never really gone on the record and said why that is his mantra, but he believes that youth is better served than experience. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Don't forget, we have Rob Demovsky coming up Rob Demovsky, coming up in the bottom of the hour. So stick around for that and more.
About a month from now, we're going to have an event at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, and I'm excited for it because you can join wrestling legend Kevin Nash January 31st for an elevated viewing experience of one of the best events of the year. The Royal Rumble will be there with Good Karma Wrestling and Kevin Nash. You can watch your favorite WWE superstars battle it out in the match of the year. It's going to be in the annex of Potawatomi Casino. So just for $100 per person, you can enjoy 2 complimentary drinks, unlimited buffet access, a photo and autograph with the legend Kevin Nash himself, $25 in reward or match play to your favorite games on us, plus a shot at winning your own WWE Championship belt. It's an elevated viewing experience of the Royal Rumble, January 31st. Secure your spot today by visiting the Potawatomi website.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
It is a rough ride out on the roads. We've got a bunch of accidents all over the place. Eastbound on 94 has got the left lane blocked right at Highway F in Waukesha County. Then a little bit further on at Barker Road, we've also got a crash off on the right shoulder there. We got one on the ramp from Brown Deer Road to southbound 43 right near the Ozaukee County line. Then we've also got northbound Loomis at 894 eastbound with the left lane blocked. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast, we have a winter weather advisory until 6 p.m. today for all of southeast Wisconsin. Winter storm warning until 6 p.m. for Fond du Lac and Sheboygan counties. But today, morning snow, windy with a high of 23. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 10. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
We love the Packers. We bleed green and gold. And every time our team takes the field, well, it's pure football bliss. If only there was a way to experience that blissful winning feeling every day. At Associated Bank, we've got you. With 10% off Lambeau concessions and 15% off Pro Shop merch. All when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank. It's how Packers fans keep winning on game day and every day. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Game days are here, and your car needs to look as ready as you do. Before you hit the stadium, surf to Tsunami Express Car Wash, the ultimate pre-game stop to roll in clean and confident. Our state-of-the-art tunnels treat, clean, protect, and dry every car to perfection. With 7 Milwaukee area locations, including our newest in New Berlin, we are wherever you need us. Sign up online, and your first wash is absolutely free. That's a $25 value on the house. Claim your free wash today at TsunamiExpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Hey, everyone who I let try borscht likes it. They don't love it, but it's a liver.
What an endorsement.
This is your
But hold on.
There's your airline, guys. Good luck. I don't even have to talk anymore.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Look, we're all guilty of it. Sometimes you see something shiny, flashy, and you go, ooh, I want to go to there. I want to have that. So it is understandable why Packers fans have looked at Malik Willis's performance recently and said, ooh, that's intriguing. Entering Saturday night, Willis owned a 132.2 passer rating, had thrown for over 600 yards, closer to 700 actually, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions in 10 games. That's 2 starts for the Green Bay Packers. And then you saw what he did on Saturday, which was absolutely electric, just making all the throws. And Matt LaFleur did compliment the quarterback, the backup quarterback, saying as much, saying he can make all the throws. But, Will, I'm going to have you pull up the sound. When asked yesterday about whether or not there was a quote-unquote quarterback controversy, and I don't believe that term was used, but you know what I mean when I say that. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I think, guys, I want to pump the brakes on all that stuff. I think Jordan Love was playing some pretty high-level football, and it's great that we feel the same about Malik in his ability to go in there. And, you know, I thought he's had 2 really back-to-back outstanding performances. So we're in a good spot with that position. Certainly have a lot of confidence in both of those guys, but I mean, it's pretty clear that Jordan is our franchise quarterback, and he is going to be when he is healthy, he's going to be our starter. So I just want to squash all that.
I saw the reporter who asked that question catching some flack on social media. What a dumb question. How could you even think that? Just a peek behind the curtain. Sometimes you ask a question that you know the answer to because you need the coach, the important characters, to be on the record saying such. It's all well and good for you, me, Gabe, Jason Wilde, Rob Demovsky to speculate about that stuff, but sometimes you just need to hear it from the horse's mouth in order to squash any conversation that might be percolating, and that's what that was. So I don't have any issue with the question being asked, even if the reporter didn't think it was an issue that needed to be addressed.
Again, it was just kind of a soft way of asking it. It was just, hey, do you have to find a way to get Malik on the field? Was basically the question there. Because he has been playing at a high level. And, you know, LaFleur didn't dismiss maybe having a package for Malik, but no, Jordan's the guy. And it's understandable. Like, again, this guy was, in week 15, he had the 3rd best MVP odds. Jordan Love. Like, that doesn't happen by accident, right? He was playing incredibly well. The injuries happened. Now this losing streak happened, so he completely falls off, and it's probably going to be Matthew Stafford's award to lose. But Jordan Love was playing some pretty damn good football up until he got knocked out against the Chicago Bears.
Chew, where do you think Malik Willis is next year? There's a number of teams. We've seen the names. There's a number of teams that are interested or trying to upgrade at the quarterback position. I'm not sure what it says about these teams that Malik Willis would be an upgrade for what they have been drafting or acquiring other ways. But where do you think he ends up?
Probably on a bad team where he will be competing for the starting job would be my guess, because he's done enough to at least let him kick the tires, you know? I mean, because there's a lot of bad quarterback play around the league, so I could see him, signing, I don't know, what would a competing quarterback get? $15 million, Gabe?
Yeah, I mean, something like that. In 3 years, 45
I mean, he
million,
has a skill set. He has a skill set because he can scramble, he can run. Throws a pretty good ball. I think LaFleur said he can make all the throws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a strong arm.
Is he going to be, Pro Bowl player? Probably not.
I actually think he could be starting week 1 for a franchise. I think we should put that on the poll. I think, will Malik Willis be a starter in the league week 1 of next year? I think adamantly yes. Some of the teams I've seen Chew: Arizona Cardinals, Miami Dolphins, Las Vegas Raiders, Indianapolis Colts. You like any of those from Malik Willis?
Yeah.
I'd rather he's in the AFC.
I mean,
if I'm
the
being
Raiders.
honest,
The Raiders aren't. I would eliminate the Raiders there. They're probably going
Because
to take.
of-
Well, they're going to have
but
the
I
number one
mean-
pick. So
but
they're going to take their own guy, develop him, not have to pay that guy until down the road.
He's better than Justin Fields in New York.
Oh yeah.
I would take him over yours. I would probably take him over anything they have in Cleveland.
although Quinn Ewers looked better than Tua in the limited
Well,
time
that
we've
ain't
seen
saying a
him.
whole lot.
I mean, how low do we want to set the bar?
We all believe that Rodgers is going to retire.
Do
so
we?
there's an opening in
We believe Rodgers
Pittsburgh.
should retire. That doesn't mean he will retire. What about the Indianapolis Colts and their quarterback situation?
I think they like Daniel Jones.
Yeah, but Jones, who knows when he's going to be available to them.
Achilles. He tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
Where Arizona? Yeah, I mean,
I think
there's
Miami,
spots for him.
especially if Mike McDaniel sticks around, which it seems like he is. That the way that they've played the last few weeks, he's kind of saved his job. He didn't lose the team. I think Miami makes a ton of sense for Malik Willis.
Nobody likes Arizona. Nobody likes him to replace Kyler Murray out there.
That's a spot. It would have been nice if they were able to trade him.
That's a
Like,
spot.
if
That's a great. That
exists. I think they still play football there.
New Orleans.
I think they're going to ride it out with Shuck. He's been playing decent the last few games. He had another 300-yard passing game yesterday.
I mean, does Atlanta love Penix?
Yes, they're going to keep rolling with Penix.
Minnesota.
That would be an interesting one, Chew, just because how much do they actually believe in J.J. McCarthy? Because, again, that roster, if they beat the Packers and Vikings are going to have the same number of wins this season. Just tells you how good that Vikings roster is and how much J.J. McCarthy's held them back.
Yeah. So, yeah, he'll have a spot. He ain't going to be in Green Bay.
I think we each should take a team, just for funsies.
I'll take Minnesota.
Wow, that's a wild card, too. I think I like your explanation about the Raiders. Colts?
Colts are an interesting
Colts
team.
could be fun. I'll take the Colts. We better write that stuff down, Will, to make sure that we hold on to it as far as where we think Malik Willis will be next year. And again, weigh in on our Infinity Exteriors poll. Do you agree that he will be a Week 1 starter in the league after what you have seen from him, not just on Saturday night against the Ravens, guys? This has been going back. Every time Malik Willis is out there, it seems like he is getting better and better, making strides, making progress. We got to talk to Rob Demovsky, and that will happen right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Something exciting happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the studio, kitchen, and cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening. They got drinks that will inspire. Flavors and beverages for every mood. The studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social at the studio, kitchen, and cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. That's St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got delays around the area now that I can talk about those. We do have a couple of accidents. We'll get to those in a second. Westbound on 94, you're seeing delays from right past Brookfield Road all the way to about Highway 16. On the eastbound side, seeing delays now from about 70th Street to
I got
Holland
you.
Road.
Do you have me?
Got this accident northbound 94
Awesome. I don't know
just
what the
past
deal was
Ryan
last
Road.
time.
Looks like they got, Rawson Road, Rawson Avenue. It looks
Okay,
like they
sounds good.
just got that cleared out of the way. So they should be able to open up the lane there soon if they haven't already. And then they're still working on the one on northbound just past Ryan Road. That one's still got that right lane blocked. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Winter weather advisory until 6 p.m. for all of southeast Wisconsin. Otherwise today, morning snow, windy with a high of 23. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 10. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This season, the Bucks are going for it all.
A game winner for the Greek Freak.
Go inside the team's pursuit of a championship on Locked In, the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, narrated by Bucks legend Marcus Johnson. Hear from the team stars on why they think they can make history. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings.
tailgate when you're gonna recreate upstate.
New Year's Eve is almost here. Are you fully stocked for the big night? This is Marie from Discount Liquor. No worries, we have everything you need at the lowest prices in town. Whether you're having a quiet family gathering or a bigger bash with friends, relatives, and coworkers, our expert staff will help you pick out the perfect beverages for your party. So if you need a tasty craft brew, a cold keg, a hard-to-find liquor, or the perfect bottle of wine or champagne, we have it all at Discount Liquor, and you'll save a lot of money.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com. And from our family to yours, have a happy and safe holiday season.
Discount Liquor.
People say buying a home in winter is tough.
But fewer buyers means less competition, and motivated sellers can mean better opportunities.
This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. When the perfect home appears, our team at Tony Wendorf & Associates helps you move fast, even during the snow.
Start your home journey today with our white glove service by simply searching online Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So overrated.
Come on, his head is a pumpkin.
Yeah, he's so right. Chewy's never been more right about anything.
Chewy was right?
Yeah.
Holy, Chewy was right.
Yeah.
Imagine the helmet on that dome. It'd be the first 8.5 size helmet. What the?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Josh, I love the intros, but man, that's last year's intro.
ESPN's #1 source for green and gold information.
Oh yeah. Hey.
Once again, Rob.
Cracking. He's cracking the whip.
We did this last time. You have to speak on the show for me to give you an intro.
You know what? You're right.
Our most musically inclined and bald guest.
I feel like a jerk. I really do. Like that was terrible.
It's Rob Demovsky on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Just a few moments ago, Rob Demovsky tweeted out his article from last night, which is Packers, LaFleur, Love will start over Willis once healthy. Rob, I want to get to you on this. What do you think the plan will be? Not should be, but will be this week when they take on the Vikings?
Oh, that's a great question, Jen. If you look at, LaFleur mentioned what happened last year with Christian Watson getting hurt in that finale, and Jordan Love actually having didn't he have an elbow injury in that game where he ended up not coming back? Probably could have.
Correct.
He mentioned that yesterday in his press conference, and that makes me think he's, worried about, more injuries. His team can't take many more injuries. However, he also made the point was, we only have 53 guys. This isn't the preseason. You can't rest everyone, right? There's just, the guys who are hurt and questionable, I'm guessing they won't play. The Zach Toms, the Josh Jacobs, those types of players. But, you're going to have to you only get, 48 on game day. You're going to have to play some starters. I think even if Jordan Love passes concussion protocol, he won't play this week. Or if he does, he'll play just a couple of series to try to knock the rust off, like a preseason type game.
Chew, we can't hear you, pal. There we go.
Rob, is this roster overinflated from a talent standpoint? And I'm talking more defense because when Parson goes down, I was hearing, this team was a Super Bowl contender before they even signed Parsons. Come on, what are we doing?
Well, I think the problem, Chewy, is two things. One, they had so many injuries on the defensive line because if you think about, I know Kenny Clark was traded, right, and you picked up Micah Parsons, but just bear with me here for a second. You didn't re-sign T.J. Slayton, who was probably your best run stopper from a year ago. Kenny Clark's gone. That's 2 interior linemen. Devontae Wyatt was supposed to take this big jump and looked like he might have been. He's hurt. You have so many injuries, and departures at that spot, including Parsons now, that it's decimated it. And then the other thing is, we thought cornerback was a big weakness going into the season, and they didn't really add to it, so it's still a weakness. So I think you add those two things together, plus the fact that Lucas Van Ness hasn't really taken the next step for whatever reason, whether it's injuries or what, and Rashan Gary's arc seems to be going way, way down. That adds up to something like what happened against Baltimore. Not saying they can't play good defense, because they have in stretches. This was the 10th ranked run defense going into the game on Saturday night, so it's not like they were just getting killed, but boy, it was ugly for all those reasons I just mentioned.
Yeah, it was ugly, Rob. But I think you could even throw the word kind of embarrassing out there. And I know we've had the discussions with you of, okay, they've probably already made their decision on what they're going to do with LaFleur and Gutekunst. But if this continues, if they lose on Sunday and then lose that playoff game, does that change the math of what they want to do with the futures of those two guys who will have 1 year remaining on their contract?
Sure could. Yeah, it sure could, Gabe. I agree that I think, Ed Policy probably already knows what he wants to do. But if they lose and then lose in the playoffs, that would end the season on what? Would that be a 5-game losing
5
streak?
games, yep.
Yeah, that's and then you throw in last year it was 3-game losing streak, or was it 4? 3 plus the playoff, or 3 including the playoff?
I think it's 3 including the playoff.
Yeah, it's a bad sign when you're not playing your best late in the year. And you know what? I get the injury thing, but they're not the only team in the league that's had major injuries. Great coaches and great GMs and all that find a way to overcome it, and they just haven't. So,
Rob, could you put a percentage on that if they do lose these last 2? What's your gut tell you? 50-50?
Last time I put a percentage on something, I said that when Rodgers, that whole offseason of discontent, I said there was only about a 5% chance that he'd be back, and of course he was back. So I don't know. Here's the thing: we just don't know Ed Policy.
Yeah.
We don't know what his MO is. Does he value stability? Does he want to be like what the Steelers have been, what the Ravens have been? What's Harbaugh been there? 18 years or something like that. It's been a long run. Tomlin maybe even longer. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, those are the top 2, Rob, in terms of longevity at their current jobs in the NFL.
And they've been winning. They've been winning organizations. Have they been championship organizations? Probably not. But does he value something like that, Chewy? Or is he 9-10 wins and a playoff appearance isn't good enough? We just don't know.
Rob, I just go back to when his dad fired Seifert in San Francisco, and it wasn't far after a Super Bowl. So if he's anything like his dad seemed to be kind of a no nonsense guy. Which
are you anything
me,
like your dad, Chewy?
As far as going to bed early and working 2 hours a day, we're pretty similar.
I don't know. I don't know. Does everyone operate like their old man? I'm not sure.
Rob Demovsky hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here on a Monday morning. Okay, Rob, Matt LaFleur said, let me pull up the sheet. I need to go back, take a peek at this, and see exactly what went wrong. Yeah. How do you explain, how would you explain to Packers fans what went wrong with the defense? Because it was gash after gash. I joked it looked like that they had, called in sick. They were still on holiday, et cetera, all of the things. How can you explain how that unit looked so bad?
Yeah, so the next day, that quote was from after the game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, he said what was probably the most disappointing thing after watching the tape is just how many times we weren't playing the right technique or weren't in the right position. And then when we did have some opportunities, there were times when we did play okay. But he said this is stuff we've been calling since the preseason, throughout camp, throughout the course of the season, whether it's a check or not getting adjustments right. Like that's hard to explain. I mean, that's the explanation, right? But that's hard to believe that this could happen, at this point in the season. But like mistakes on alignments, on assignments, on checks, is that coaching? Is that poor players? I'm not sure, but that's ultimately what happened, Jen. And it added up to 216 yards for Derrick Henry and 307 for the Ravens. It was funny because Matt LaFleur said, I don't know when you don't see 300-yard rushing games too many times. Well, the Packers have given up 303 times since 1978, including playoffs. Twice were under LaFleur. It was in 2022 against the Eagles, and the other one was the playoff game against San Francisco, which predates him. It was at 2012, I think.
Rob, I'm going to throw some names out to you. You tell me if you think they're back here next year or they're gone.
Okay.
Romeo Doubs.
Yes, because I think he'll be affordable.
Malik Willis.
No.
Rasheed Walker.
No.
Ingabare.
Yeah, I'd say decent chance there.
And then Quay Walker.
Oh, that's a hard one because that will be expensive. I would have said yes for sure, maybe a month or 6 weeks ago. I'm still going to go yes. You got to re-sign some guys. You can't start completely over. I'm surprised you didn't have Rashan Gary on that list, or if you already.
To save time, I think at this point,
foregone conclusion and whatnot. I'm surprised you didn't have Jeff Hafley. I know it was mostly player related, but you think Jeff Hafley is back? Because I know there's a question out there about if the defense played so bad, why aren't we criticizing Hafley more? But I still think he is the number one coordinator on teams that need a head coach's list.
Yeah, certainly. If you're willing to hire a defensive head coach, he would be number one. I think there's a pretty good chance that he gets a head coaching job.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Matt LaFleur was coaching the number one offense when he became the head coach here. I think when McCarthy was hired, they had the 31st ranked defense. Yeah, they were offense. They were bad. So if you like a coordinator, to me, at this point, you like the coordinator, and he's got head coaching experience. Certainly.
I agree.
Rob, how are they going to fill out the back part of this roster? Because right now they're at 52. It seems like Riley and Kamal Hadden are going to be out for the year, so now they're at 50. So, again, that goes back to who are you going to play if you rest starters? Because you only have 50. Are they even going to try to fill out the back part of the roster?
Yeah, I mean, most likely, Gabe, it comes from the practice squad or, a waiver claim or, a street free agent signing. There's no superstars out there available. I mean, that's just not going to happen. So it'll be hard. But, you're almost better off trying to promote guys that have been here all year that are on the practice squad that at least, have an idea of what you want to do. Because that's really your best option at this point. And, I'm not so sure it's the strongest practice squad I've ever seen, but that's the way they're going to have to go, and they're going to have to make it work.
Rob, why is Bo Melton still playing offense when all their receivers are back?
Yeah, I don't understand it, Chewy. I mean, that interception was not, I don't think, was Clayton Tune's fault.
No.
Was it the perfect throw? No, but Bo Melton's got to catch that. And this whole thing, we wrote and spent how much time in the offseason talking about Bo Melton as a cornerback, and he hasn't played a single snap on defense all year. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Bo Melton also, he was on the onside kick recovery team in Chicago that they didn't get. Not saying it was his fault, but they certainly like him for special teams and like him for a reason. But I don't know that I see the upside there.
Rob, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Hopefully we have happier things to talk about the next time we gather. Although, again, we are basically chalking up that Vikings game as meaningless. Here's what I will say, and maybe you agree with me on this. you can build a lot of goodwill by going out there and beating the brakes off the Vikings, even if the game is meaningless, right?
I do think there is something to at least feeling good about yourself going into the playoffs. I mean, it is a little bit like a preseason game that I couldn't tell you if the Packers won or lost their preseason finale this year because it doesn't really matter. But maybe there is a little bit of a feeling of, going into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum and maybe answering some questions. But either way, next Monday, Jen, we're going to be talking about the playoffs. So, I guess it's a new season when we speak next.
He's Rob Demovsky. Read his stuff on ESPN.com. Follow him on socials, and always listen to him on Mondays with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Thanks, Rob.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Be back right after this.
A weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tune in to Hear District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Marcus and his son Chris, a 1995 UCLA hoops champ himself, talk about everything happening in the Bucks world and are joined by some of the biggest names in basketball. Plus, they'll answer some of your questions too. Stay on the beat of the Bucks and find Hear District now at bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. On this show, it's always football season.
So now Jeff Hafley's going to have to get more creative. Everybody will have to bow up and do things. And the main guy is Jordan Love.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
This went from a defensive-led team to now Jordan Love. Put him on your back. You're going to have to get the cape out.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
There's nothing like Milwaukee Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The dunks, the defense, the roar of 17,000 fans. It's even better when you're with friends or family. From jaw-dropping plays to buzzer-beating threes, every game is packed with unforgettable moments that you'll get to share together. So gather your crew and get your single game tickets today at bucks.com/single. That's bucks.com/single.
It pretty much hurt doing anything. I couldn't ride a bicycle. You don't have your life because you don't have your mobility.
So when Patrick heard about QC Kinetics and their non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain, no waiting, he called them immediately.
There's no downtime. There's no rehab. That was the tipping point for me. I didn't have to take any drugs. I didn't have to rehab.
Before considering surgery, check out QC Kinetics all-natural treatment options that restore and repair damaged joint tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
If you have knee replacement surgery, and then the knee is not yours, and there's no guarantee that that's going to be successful.
QC Kinetics. Patients around the country are raving about the results. They're getting back their mobility, taking back their lives with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Big ideas deserve a big story and the right audience. At Saturn Lounge, we bring your marketing to life with branding, websites, digital marketing, and video storytelling that stands out from the crowd. Whether it's a TV spot, a campaign, or content built to connect, Saturn Lounge is where strategy meets creativity. From the first spark of an idea to the final cut, we're here to make your message shine across every platform. Ready to make your marketing a success? Step into the spotlight with Saturn Lounge, your launch pad for bigger, better marketing. To tell the world your story, visit SaturnLounge.com today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878. 800-948-7878.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
He sounds like the Beatles.
What?
Anyone?
This is a new one on me.
Listen to
I
his
don't
interview,
know.
the way he talks. He sounds like Paul McCartney. Ringo farted and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We got feisty reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and Text line and on the YouTube stream. Jim says, I think Matt LaFleur has lost the team. And then Jalen, loyal listener, says, ESPN Milwaukee can never be critical of Love or give Malik any type of hype. I feel like we hyped up Malik pretty strongly this morning. I think we said that he was electric, he was dynamic, he was fantastic. We believe he will be elsewhere because he's been so good as a backup quarterback in these spot starts in emergencies for the Green Bay Packers. But I also think that we have been realistic in that the Green Bay Packers franchise is not handing the keys over to Malik Willis. No matter how great Malik Willis plays, they are locked in with Jordan Love as the franchise quarterback. Matt LaFleur said as much yesterday without even being asked specifically about any sort of quarterback controversy. So even if we think Malik Willis is the best thing since sliced bread, if the people making the decisions don't, that's just how it's going to go, Gabe.
Malik's been great. He's not as good as Jordan Love. Like, I'm not going to pretend that he is. That doesn't take away anything that Malik Willis has done, over the last couple of games. But again, they've got their guy. They're going to ride with Jordan Love. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm
going to miss Malik. And as we've seen the last couple of years, Chew, having a backup quarterback that has been as good as he has is such a thing that you want. And the fact that he's going to be gone and they have to replace that's one of the bigger holes I think they have on the roster.
And we'll give someone some more credit. Goody deserves credit for that because no one was giving that guy a shot. He went out and traded for him. Turned out to be a really good trade. But I don't think someone's going to hand him the reins, but they certainly, and they should allow him to compete for a starting job because he's done enough. And whoever disparaged him in the way they did should really apologize to the kid because they were wrong.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were plenty of teammates that stepped up.
I think that has been done, actually. I think I've seen guys who were very critical who had said, and you keep mentioning Taylor Lewan, who was a teammate of his in Tennessee. I think he has even said, my bad. I was wrong about Malik. But also, he could have evolved as well, right? I'm doing a feature right now on Fernando Mendoza at Indiana guys, right? Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza leading them into the Rose Bowl against Alabama this week. He said that in the spring game, he was bad. He said that in 7-7 he got better. He said in the first game of the season, he didn't throw a single passing touchdown. He rushed for one. He said he looked it up. There has never been a Heisman Trophy winner who didn't throw a single passing touchdown in week one of the season he won the Heisman. And yet Fernando Mendoza got better each and every week to the point of winning the Heisman. Malik Willis has gotten better. There's no doubt about that.
And true, you want to give certainly credit to Goody, but credit to Matt LaFleur and Sean Mannion. Like, those two guys, Manny and the quarterback coach, like those two guys developing him, getting him to a point where he's comfortable, and again, developing him over the last couple of seasons has been fantastic.
Yeah, he's a nice player.
All things considered, we put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors poll. Who should start at quarterback in Week 18, Jordan Love or Malik Willis? Jordan Love dealing with a concussion. He was in concussion protocol. The general thought is that he will be cleared by Week 18, but would you still want to sit the quarterback and have Malik Willis go out there? We just heard from Rob Demovsky, who thinks that Jordan Love will play in a limited capacity. Not that he will be limited health-wise, but he thinks that will be the way that the Packers choose to go. Right now, Malik Willis is winning that poll, 53% of the vote. Jordan Love with 47%. We also asked
Malik's more beat up than Jordan right now.
With the shoulder.
Yes. I'm more concerned about the shoulder than the concussion because it seemed like Jordan was close to clearing concussion protocol last week. Unfortunately, unable to do it. I think he'll get past those hurdles he needs to this week. That shoulder is You're feeling pain in your shoulder after not getting hit after just throwing the football? That's concerning.
Sometimes you only hear what you want, though, Gabe, and I think fans out there have heard that they said that had the game not gotten out of hand, 41-24, Malik would have gone back out there.
Yes.
So I think people are like, oh, he's good. He's healthy. Could have gone back out there. We also put it on the poll, who would you rather the Packers play in the first round of the playoffs? We told you this morning they are locked into the 7th seed. They will play the Eagles or the Bears, and 72% of people want the Bears again. Chew, you agree?
Yes, I do. And I think I think Detroit is going to rest players as well because their season's done with, so that should be a win. And see you in Chicago.
Will Malik Willis be a Week 1 starter in 2026? 80% of respondents say yes, he will. Now we just got to figure out where he's going to be. I take the Colts. Chewy took the Vikings. Gabe took the Miami Dolphins. Will, you want to throw a vote in there?
I'm going to vote for the Vikings as well.
Somebody said
you're my buddy.
Steelers was another one was that you, Gabe, that said Steelers? Somebody on the
No, I
on the
think
text
somebody
line?
on the talk and text line. I don't know if I like Will sucking up to Chew like that.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to be with him all week. So he's just trying to lay the groundwork.
We don't have shows Wednesday and Thursday.
Got to be with him tomorrow. He's got to lay the groundwork.
I don't want to make my bet on Monday.
Will D and Tausch is next on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
Accident on 894 eastbound at the ramp from Loomis. Looks like it's a